This is a Blackstar Meteor 600. I'm going to take a quick look inside, see how it is made, and also I'll do some performance checks. I've got a service manual, and interestingly it's the same service manual for the 100, the 600 and the 1000. So this is a 600 megahertz job, and yeah, I'm just going to have a little look at it. I know Dave Jones tears his down first, but I'm going to power it on and just check that it's working. I like to know whether I broke it or whether it is already broken. If needs be, any repairs of course, and then we'll pop it on the internet. So let's get on with it. Okay, well let's pop the frequency then up to 1 megahertz. There you go, 1000 kilohertz. So yeah, not unhappy with that. That seems to be working, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so this input should be able to go up to 100 megahertz, so I'm going to turn this back down to, so there we go, 1 megahertz. So the only difference there really is that the number of digits after the decimal point. It's quite slow to respond of course, but yeah, 1 meg. So I should be able to go up to 100 on here, so let's go for 50 megahertz for a second. Nice, and the accuracy is surprisingly good. So my source is actually running off a GPS locked thing, so you know this 80 hertz error on here is in this machine, not elsewhere. But we might be able to tweak that. Where's the little adjuster? Okay, let's give it 100 megahertz then. There she blows, 100 megahertz. Yep, so this is has it got an error of what? 0.5 parts per million. Yep. So I've got 100 megahertz going into this 50 ohm load now. And there it is. I'm going to change to 0.1 seconds just to have a bit more speed. So, yep, current frequency 200 megahertz, has 200. So 236.01020. 236.01 something. Okay, so we're still just, you know, last couple of digits there. 276.01020. And we just go up to 505. 594. 612. 631, 1 gig. Okay, so it's unlikely to go to 1 gigahertz right down to its specified minimum input level, but I'm still pretty impressed with that. I will still have a look at the circuit, see if it's worth doing a proper upgrade, but for the moment, pleased with that. I've cracked it open. Unfortunately, had the camera turned off, but it was just 4 screws in the bottom. Easy to take apart. Unfortunately the PCB is stuck on the back of the front panel, so I can't see too much, but I'll have a little look around and see if I can see some spaces, and yeah, there's a few spaces in the holes, which indicates that there would be other components just straight on that board. I just need to desolder the connections for the BNCs They're just coming straight through and being soldered on and holding everything in place, and also the green earth wire that's running back to the input. So it'll only take me a moment or two to do that. And come off, excellent. So there we go. Here is our front panel, an interesting design for the LED there. Just bend it over. But you can't even get LEDs with legs that long nowadays. So yeah, a couple of switches. I might give those a clean while it's out. And then yeah, we've got a few component parts down here. Since unusual, we have one available, and yeah, I'll deal with the right hand side first, I think. So this particular device uses a dedicated IC, which is a dedicated counter. It's that simple. It can actually do quite a lot more than this meter is capable of, but essentially it can count up to 10 megahertz and put it straight onto a display, and that's all that's needed. And you just need a few switches to tell it what sort of gate time you're using, like 0.1 seconds, 1 second, 10 seconds, and you need a few switches to do range selection. And that's it in terms of actually getting a 10 megahertz signal on the screen. Now there's a little bit else to do, because for example you need to move the decimal place around. If you're doing 1 second, 10 seconds or 0.1 seconds, you just move the decimal point left and right by one place. Okay, so range selection also feeds into various other devices just to switch things really. So we've got two main directions. We've got input A, which is our low frequency input up to 100 megahertz. And that can optionally go through a low pass filter, and that's just to stop it aliasing, so we don't get problems like a 50 hertz signal coming in and being shown as 100 hertz. Low pass filter cleans that up nicely and gives us a good signal to count. You don't need that when you get to higher frequencies. We go from there through a preamplifier, and there'll be some diodes in there just to limit the voltage as well, and there's a threshold detector in there too. So our signal comes through that, through our preamplifier, through a trigger amplifier, and in a Schmitt buffer selector, which just cleans it up basically, and also goes through a divide by 10 prescaler, because this goes up to 100 megahertz and our counter can only count 10. So we simply divide it by 10. It's that easy, and feed it through again into the Schmitt trigger, which cleans it up and passes it on to the timing logic, and that's it for that side of things. So if you've got the Meteor 100 model, then that's what you have in the box. So let's have a look at the higher frequency input. So here we've got a 40 megahertz to 1 gigahertz preamplifier, which we'll see on the board, and a prescaler, and this has got a little asterisk next to it. And that's because the preamplifier is common to both the 1 gigahertz and the 600 megahertz model. So it's perfectly well specified preamplifier. And the prescaler though is different. There's so on the 600 megahertz, it's a single divide by 10 ECL prescaler chip. Simple as that. So so 600 megahertz goes in, and 60 megahertz comes out, and that's all ECL level. Now when it goes into the second prescaler and gets divided by 10 again, so our 60 gets cut down to 6 megahertz, then that converts the ECL levels back into TTL for the Schmitt buffer. If however you've got the 1 gigahertz, then this is a 2-chip solution. It's a divide by 2 and a divide by 5. If you were making it today, you would just buy a 1.1 gigahertz divide by 10 IC and stick it in. And basically, if you want to upgrade your 600 megahertz model to 1 gigahertz, then that's exactly what you should do. Go to DigiKey and buy an ECL divide by 10. It'll be about £2, £3, something like that. Okay, so yeah, so we preamp, we divide it by 10, and we pass it onto the same divide by 10 prescaler that we use for the 100 meg, because we're within range now. Our 1 gigahertz is down to 100 megahertz, and through exactly the same circuit, all we're doing is putting the decimal place in the right place, and that's it really. So let's go and have a look at the circuit itself, and we'll see those components. So just here we've got our two inputs. Let me change my colour. That's better. Yeah, two inputs just here and here. So these are the BNC inputs, and this is the low frequency on the left hand side as you look at it, and just here we have got our low pass filter. So anyway, we have our inputs. Optionally we go through this low pass filter. We've got a couple of transistors, and just here we have got an IC which is an SL952, and basically that's a high frequency operational amplifier. Goes right up into the gigahertz, no problem at all. And there will be a diode in there as well somewhere, can't see where that is, which is going to clip the input signal to make sure that we don't have too much drive on that. So that's it, that's the preamp stage. Now the preamp stage for the 1 gigahertz version is completely identical, so there's no changes there at all. The SL952 is on both of them. Where things change is just here. So we've got a 600 megahertz version here, so we have a single divide by 10 prescaler. So if we imagine we've got a 600 megahertz signal coming in, that's dividing it down to 60 megahertz, and that is a SP8630B. Let me just think what there's. Yes, and this is actually ECL logic. Now that's actually really good news if you want to make your own little extender. Yeah, I bet you can buy a ECL 1.1 gigahertz divider, divide by 10 divider, for £3 or something like that on DigiKey. And the fact you've already got this circuit working with ECL levels simplifies things, because you don't have to do tons of level translation and stuff like that. So there we go, that's the 600 megahertz version. If we had the 1 gigahertz version, then these two spaces here would be populated instead. Now the first of them here is, I can't remember I can't see the IC numbers on it. IC6 is an SP8605B, or would be if it was fitted, and that's a divide by 2, you know, in excess of 1 gigahertz IC, ECL IC again. And this one, next one along, would be an 11C91 DC, and that's a divide by 5. So the two together form a divide by 10. Now, of course, nowadays you can easily get a surface mount divide by 10 1.1 gigahertz, and you could make a little piggyback board just to fit in there. I'll show you the diagrams in just a second. But essentially, bar these two chips and the position of two capacitors, and there's a few little, there's a diode and a couple of resistors, but basically these are identical circuits. This is pretty much it. Just the little space you've got there is all you've got to populate, and you could easily make a piggyback circuit. Why would you want to do that? Because these ICs, to get them on the eBay market, that sort of thing, are going to cost you about £30, versus £3 just buying a divider off DigiKey or Farnell's or whoever your preferred supplier may be. Anyway, let's have a look at the right hand side of this circuit. It's all these transistors here are all low frequency preamplifier devices, because we haven't got in our what is it? It's 5 hertz to 100 megahertz range. We don't have this SL952 op amp in that circuit. We just go through all these transistors on the side here, and there's some trimmers and things like that to get their levels right. What have we got over here? Well, let's say we've got our 100 megahertz, or we've got our 60 megahertz that we've divided down, or our 100 megahertz again that we've divided down from our in the Blackstar 1000. Then we divide it down again by another 10, and just here is where we do that. I'm just going to see if I can see the part number. Yep, the part number is a SP8680 BDG, and conveniently that also converts from the ECL level back to TTL, so that makes life nice and easy. The output of that goes into this IC up here, and this is a 74HC132, yeah, that's a Schmidt trigger. So we're just cleaning up that signal and making nice good edges. And finally, all of that feeds into this big IC here, and this is a frequency counter on a chip. And in some ways, actually, the most disappointing thing here is that Blackstar have not implemented all of the facilities available. So, for example, if you switch a 10 megahertz, you've got a 10 megahertz signal to do your counting. If you switch your 10 megahertz signal, then actually you can count period as well as frequency, and you can count elapsed time, and you can do all sorts of things with this IC with relatively simple circuits. I'll leave you to look up the datasheet yourself, but it's an ICM 7216, and it's got everything on there. You know, basically it takes your signal in, it takes the clock in, and a few little switch configurations and resistor configurations, and spits out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 digits on here. So the switches here are actually just telling it what sort of sample speed to do, and putting the decimal point in the right place, and things like that. I've been to the service manual and grabbed a couple of diagrams just so we can see them next to each other to illustrate how similar the 600 and the 1 gigahertz model actually are. And these are the two input sections. So the top one is the 600 megahertz model, and the bottom one is the 1 gigahertz model. And we can see that we have a pair of limiting diodes. We've got a transistor on the front end of a op amp, which is giving quite a big gain, and then we've got a couple of transistors and a resistor conditioning things before they go into the divider. And over here on the 600 is the SP8630B, or 8, I think 8, and that's our divide by 10. And on the bottom circuit we've got IC6 SP8065, which is divide by 2, and IC7 the 11C91DC, which is the divide by 5. Let's see how similar they are then. So there you go. So literally all the way up to those transistors, the resistors above them, the 1 microhenry in the top line, everything all the way. Yep, so all of this on the left hand side of that line is identical in both. Put in the last screw. Power on, super. It's always a relief when you turn the power on and it comes on. 1 gigahertz signal, which is too high for it really. Carry it on. And there's our 1 gigahertz signal. Excellent. So that's about it. Please don't forget to thumbs up or like this video if you found it interesting, and do subscribe, of course, and please leave some comments down below. I'm attaching some links to datasheets and that sort of thing. So until next time, take care.